Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome to my channel Beyond Headlines Current Affairs by Lakshmi. Our topic today is India's urea crisis. So, India's urea crisis has been rocking the country for the last 2 months, and this crisis is not something that happened overnight, but it has been lurking around and it manifested after the Kharif season started after a very good monsoon. So, what are the causes of this crisis, and what's the government's explanation, and what is the impact of this crisis on farmers? These are the things that we are going to discuss in a current video. So, first of all, the crisis started because of restrictions on import, especially by China. We import urea basically from two countries. One is Ukraine, which is in the midst of a war, so which is we are not able to import urea from Ukraine, and also the other one is China due to the relations that have been on like tightrope. The imports from China have been restricted since 21, and whatever reserves we had from that time till now, it lasted for some time, but now those reserves have depleted. The stock levels have drastically come down, which kind of triggered the crisis. So restricted imports, and we are the largest importers of fertilizers and especially urea from China. And due to the bilateral relations, the tensions in the bilateral relations, this got affected. That is the first one. And the second one is reduction in domestic production. India, as such, has some of the factories that produce, companies, factories produce urea, and unfortunately, some of them had to shut down because of various factors. And the main impact was felt after the shutdown. The one is Nagarjuna Fertilizers and Chemicals, and the second one is Ramagundam Fertilizers and Chemicals. These two have served the need for the people of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and with the closure of these two factories, the urea production has stopped, and that adversely affected the farmers of this region. And there is increased demand. I already said that there is good monsoon this year. Yeah, with good monsoon, we'll go for the area for cultivation also increases, and when the area for cultivation increases, the demand for urea also increases. And after the green revolution, the use of fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides have helped a lot in increasing our production, and that has been followed even today. So the use of fertilizers for better yields or the good yields have been invoked since then, and this is causing the shortage, increased demand for urea. And also the demand is increased, but the supply, as we already discussed, the supply is not sufficient enough to meet the demand. And when there is this gap between demand and supply, then obviously tensions prevail. So, and the next one, another factor why we are not able to buy urea internationally is the rising prices of urea. When the prices compared to 3-4 years back and the price compared to now, there has been a drastic increase in price of urea, which is again has made urea an expensive import for India. And these are the causes, and how this is impacting the farmers. So obviously they have a good monsoon and they want to cultivate more. The acreage is more, then they need more urea. And the consumption is also really high when we compare across the states. Some states it is really high, and also panic buying. So when there is the news about the shortage, the farmers immediately started getting panic and brought urea for whatever price that was quoted, and they started to hold actually. And the problem here again comes because when the government is trying to supply urea, it gives at a subsidized price. When the farmers themselves buy urea from private companies, the price is different. So the cost has increased. The cost of investment has increased when the farmers are trying to buy from private persons, and in the government depots, people are still waiting in the queue lines for hours and hours, which have led to social tensions and in some places arson kind of thing. Lawlessness has been witnessed, and in some places the farmers themselves have fallen sick because of waiting in the queues for a very long time. And people, especially during the daytime when there is the sun is scorching, at that time they couldn't even stand in the queues. And during the night time they couldn't sleep there, so they are putting their chappals, stones, this and that to mark the queue. So this is actually a crisis because a farmer shouldn't be made to stand in a queue for that long to get a bag of urea. And uh, and especially this protests, if you look at it, these are happening in states which are not which are not the allies of BJP, or which are kind of uh, rivals or opposition to BJP. And especially we can see these two things in Karnataka and Telangana, where there is this huge uproar going on. The farmers protesting the lack of urea in the depots and the demand for supplying urea on time. So, because once the season is done, there is no use of getting urea again because it has to be done in the proper time interval. Okay, so the farmers are impacted to a great extent, and this when we discuss this urea crisis with regards to and with reference to Telangana, the total amount the central government allotted to Telangana is 9.8 lakh metric tons, and the requirement is at least it should get 8.3 lakh metric tons. But unfortunately, the amount of urea that was allotted to Telangana or that has been physically delivered to Telangana is 5.42 lakh metric tons, which shows a shortage of 2.88 metric tons. So that has created an unequal demand, which is still uh, uh, continuing actually. So when you look at the protest of the farmers, it actually is kind of heart wrenching. So this is the state of affairs in Telangana, and in other states also. The ally states, they are not actually coming out with any statistics, and they are saying that there is sufficient urea. But overall, when we look at the scenario, there is crisis. Even initially, the government denied the crisis and said that these things are politically motivated and stuff like that. But in the end, it also agreed like there is the shortage, if not crisis, of urea, and that is being taken care of. But it is not uh, really sure that this crisis is going to end in the near future because so many factors are in play, and they try to in some kinds they try to open certain factories that have shut down, but there are technical problems that are arising and the production is inconsistent. Again, it's causing concerns in urea production. So this is the state of affairs right now, and let's hope everything goes well with China, and they're also looking at other avenues to procure urea. And the prices have gone up for various factors like increase in gold price, petrol, inflation. All these factors also influence the price of urea in global market. So let us hope for better pricing and sufficient supply, because if there is no sufficient supply, then again it adversely affects each and every one of us. When the agricultural produce turnout is low, then again the prices will go up, and there comes inflation, and everything is affected. So let's hope the government comes up with a better solution and help the farmers in this situation. So that's all for now. Please uh, like my video, share my video, subscribe to my channel, and leave your opinions in the comments below. Yeah, I am looking forward to this. Thank you.